Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I have finished my Carina challenge number 5, the Epoch of Pain True Olympian Carina challenge with heroes. Here you can see my team. I did bring in rank 5 Captain Britain, rank 4 Jean Grey, rank 3 Sentry, rank 4 Heimdall, and rank 4 Kushala. And my run actually went quite nice. I used about 10 revives altogether. Most of them because I was lazy and I didn't practice Ares fight at all. So I used like 4, I'd say, on Ares. And then a few more kind of like a little bit of a mishap fights. I'd say just about everything on the path could have been soloed, but my clumsy fingers and old unk hands couldn't just, react in time at times. But overall, it was a fairly clean, nice, smooth run. I didn't get overly frustrated, and I enjoyed it. I liked it, and the team was great. I wouldn't really change a thing, but I don't need Captain Britain and Jean Grey. I just didn't really... Well, I had a free spot, basically. And that is also going to be answer for a lot of your questions. Like, what do you do if you don't have Captain Britain? You just bring whoever you think is going to help you in some random fight. But also... For instance, if you want to replace Heimdall, you can replace Heimdall with, let's say, Hulkling and Okoye, or, Medusa and Okoye, or something of the sort. Because you kind of have one free spot on the team setup that I made. Because Captain Britain and Jean Grey are largely interchangeable for most part. Right. So let's get to the business. So here's the team that I used. As I said, I used approximately 10 revives. I'll explain every single hiccup that I had. And the first one was ramping up Sentry and Hulkling. I messed up at 3%. That was stupid. I got Hulkling down to 3%, ramping up Sentry, obviously primarily not trying to finish out the fight fast. And I died when Hulkling was at 3%. So that is easily, soloable. If you want, you can restart. But I spent like 10 minutes ramping up Sentry, so I didn't want to restart. And I just used the revive there. So fairly straightforward. You can drop your level 1 in the block in order to get a passive stun. That's also a good way how to get in your heavies for your heavy phase. And other than that, just, fight regularly. Don't rush. Your goal in this fight is to ramp up your Sentry. You can do this fight very quickly with some other champions, like, with Photon or Silk, or Captain Britain can do this fight very fast, but I did want to ramp up my Sentry as fast as possible in order to make everything else easy, so I just use Sentry for this. But you can, again, use just Captain Britain or whoever you want for it. Right. Then we do have Absman, where I used Sentry. It was fairly easy solo, and I just about finished ramping up here. The cool thing here is obviously you have enough debuffs, so you never worry about regeneration, and after you're level 1, you don't worry about Unstoppable at all ever, and you can just infinitely refresh it with your heavy attack, and you can easily throw in your heavies, so it's a perfect fight. Doom was very easy solo too. Here in this fight, again, you kind of have to activate your level 1, then you don't need to worry about his aura, and then you can always heavy freely. And then just punish his special attack with a medium and charge a heavy attack, drop your heavy. Kind of goes down very nicely. So that was a solo. Onslaught. The key here is just don't parry. Because of the node, ramp up for Sentry is actually easier and changing forms if you want, because you get these energy resistance buffs. So if you didn't want to ramp up on Hulkling, which is perfectly fine, I'm sure you can get quite a bit of ramp up done in this fight as well, but then these fights wouldn't have been as easy. But there you go. Onslaught was easy solo. Again, just know how to dex his level 1, and that's all you need to win this fight when you activate, because he does have his unstoppable heavies, but once you do throw your first level 1, that's not an issue anymore either. And it's a very basic Onslaught fight as long as you know how to punish Onslaught's level 1. So practice that. Jessica Jones. Any champion really can do it, to be honest, but I just used the Sentry. You need to get rid of protections here, and you do that by finishing combo with a medium, with a heavy attack, or a final hit of a special attack, so keep an eye out for that. But other than that, again, just because with Sentry, you can completely take Unstoppable out of the play. There's a very easy fight there. With Chibari Panther, I use Jean Grey, and the trick there is obviously avoid the damage reflect, so be very wary when you inflict debuffs with Jean and make sure she doesn't have any cleanse charges active, or if she does, you just kind of need to suck it up and take a bit of damage back, but there's a lot of willpower healing in this fight, and yeah, overall, it wasn't smoothest fight, but it wasn't awful either. I'm sure that if you want, you can probably use Betsy for this perhaps better, but it didn't go too bad. I quite enjoyed it. It was a nice solo again with Jean Grey. I did get bashed there. Here we have Nebula versus Sentry. Here the only kind of like big trick is you do want to dex a handful of times, get your 6 or so debuffs on before you start hitting her, and then do the same thing after every special attack. Basically, if you do throw a special attack, if you do change your modes, which you'll do a couple of times, then just make sure you dex a few times so that auto block doesn't get you. And after that, a very easy time. Sentry, because you do want to have quite a few buffs here in this fight. North Star, Captain Britain solo. I think it was 2 rotations basically in order to finish off the fight. So I did play a bit messily, but the key there is, again, you can only activate a special attack when you kind of dash in. Miss counter is very, very helpful in this fight. So definitely do want to use a champion that does bypass miss. So Jean Grey or Captain Britain both would have worked perfectly fine for this fight. Destroyer was very, very quick and easy solo with Captain Britain. That was like an immediate nuke. The key there is, ideally, try to push him to level 2s. And other than that, we have fought Destroyer quite a few times. There's nothing too tricky in this fight. Photon, I use Jean Grey. Most champions can do this fight. It's all about managing power, really. If my Heimdall was around, he probably would have been quite nice for this fight, to be honest. But I can't really spam heavy attacks, I guess, here, so never mind. But yeah, Jean Grey is quite nice because she bypasses miss, so I can parry when I need to, and she does mess with the power bars. That means I can actually throw a level 3 and not take a ton of damage here. It wasn't the cleanest fight, but Jean Grey did it fine. Adam Warlock is very easy solo with Sentry, just after his every special attack going with the medium and heavy. And then he's always going to have that Soul Barb active. You're going to be taking your damage. It worked out very nicely. You do need a buffed champion for this again. So Sentry does have buffs active on him just about always. So he kind of fits perfectly here. And yeah, just punish his special, medium, heavy. Always never get that Soul Barb on yourself. Life's good then. Aegon. Now this is an absolute cheese fight with Kushala, but I was just a bit dumb and I get disoriented. But basically, you need to intercept him if you do want to parry him. And that is what you do. You get in an intercept, and you're going to be gaining a ton of power very quickly, and you're effectively going to be spamming your level 3s. And just make sure you intercept now and then. And yeah, there's nothing else to it. After he activates his special attack, the start is timer. And you do want to knock him down with the heavy then. So you always want to make sure that that reinforced passive is active there. But other than that, I just played poorly. It is a fairly chaotic fight. If you do watch it in a video somewhere, you kind of can understand. But you can spam basically infinite level 3s. But Kushal is very, very nice for this. And then with Cassie, here the gist is I ramped up my Heimdall. And I did it by activating one level 1. So you start the fight with a parry to stop her from evading. You do not parry until you have activated your level 1. And the key is just don't use special attacks afterwards. Then the fight's very simple because she can't evade. You're not using special attacks. You don't need to worry about her missing. And then you can ramp up in peace effectively. And by the time I was ramped up, she was basically dead. I activated my level 3. And it was all good. I would kind of recommend, it's probably better even not to activate it at level 3 just to maintain the rhythm of that fight. But yeah, with Heimdall, you completely shut down their evade. You don't use special attacks, so it becomes a very, very basic fight where you do try to push her to level 2s ideally, so you don't have to get rid of that hit counter debuff that she places on you. And that's about it. Gwenpool, this is kind of like a skill fight. You need to be decently good with reverse controls. It's all about rhythm and kind of timing. You're going to be spamming a lot of special attacks, but it's also a decently good fight to ramp up Heimdall. Against Iron Fist, remember, he can't inflict debuffs or gain buffs. So Captain Britain is perfectly fine, as would be Jean Grey for most part, because you do your damage with passives for most part. It is kind of an annoying fight where you do need to balance, taking hits and taking blocked hits and hitting him. Didn't, have the cleanest solo, but it was still a solo with Betsy, so nice. Toad is an absolute cheese with Heimdall, but I played like a pooper. But at this point, Toad went down anyways. I died when Toad was at like 10% because all the poisons expired on me. Yeah, I'm just down, but should have been absolute cheese with solo because Heimdall's basically immortal in this fight. Other than that, here is the key to this fight. Push to level 1 for root special, and then level 2 for reverse control special. And keep in mind which one it is going to be. That's it. There's nothing else. Remember, whenever you're going to be rooted, that's level 1, so that's the first special attack. Second special attack, you want to push him to level 2, because then with the reverse controls you can actually dex it. And don't mix it up. Because you can't fully dex his level 2 if you're rooted, because there's not enough spacing. So again, level 1 for root, level 2 for reverse controls, but with Heimdall you can kind of cheese him. Heimdall was solo with Sentry because Heimdall just stops unstoppable and I can keep knocking him down as much and as easily as I want. Then eventually, throw a special attack, he takes chunk of damage, super easy, nothing to worry about. So you can do this fight with anybody, but yeah, Nico is going to do great here, Dust would probably too, but Sentry made this fight an absolute mockery. Prowler was solo with Heimdall. Here the important thing is getting rid of those indestructible charges and remembering that you get power drained every 30 seconds and you can't throw the same special attack twice in a row. But, that's for the most part about it. At this point, Heimdall was quite ramped, so it was a relatively quick fight. Spider-Ham, I could have finished this fight super quick, but I wanted to kind of finish up my ramp with Heimdall. So just activate level 1 with Heimdall, he never evades, and then, just bait out his level 1s, and that's it. Alternatively, you can, throw your special 3, for instance, and do a ton of damage, reflect a ton of damage to Spider-Ham, which is kind of more fun, but I just finished up ramping here. Then we have Will Vision. Again, I just played fairly poorly, but here the idea is you get your level 2s and you drop the level 2s. You just parry medium light, parry light, or whatever else, and then, by the end of it, when you're close to your level 2, you can parry heavy, but be careful when you heavy, because if you do heavy, a timer starts and you have to throw a special attack very quickly afterwards that. But yeah, parry medium is kind of like a good friend here to kind of push yourself to the 2 bars of power. Annihilus, very, very easy with Sentry. You just need to parry his special attack. Don't dex any of his hits, really. Bait out level 1s exclusively, and make sure you know how to parry Annihilus's level 1 projectile hit. And other than that, again, Sentry does stop unstoppable, and this fight was very easy, fast, and safe. Mole-Man, Jean Grey. You just need dots or power stings, and Jean Grey has a ton of those, and it's a fairly straightforward fight. Basically, you just want to be inflicting as many dots as you can on Mole-Man, so you want to be spamming your level 1s exclusively, and then you just want to be betting out special attacks from Mole-Man, and he's going to be taking damage, so it was quite easy. Danny Moonstar, Captain Britain also used Jean because I didn't practice dexing that Danny's level 2. That's my fault. I know, I screwed up. So I did die here. In theory, it's quite an easy solo fight, but overall, it's nothing too crazy. You just need to know how to dex her level 2 and try to nuke her as much as possible. Tigra is a very finicky fight, but with Kushala, because she can block unblockables, I made it into as basic fight as possible. I just parried and heavied and level 3'd her. That's it. I quite literally parry, heavy, level 3. You can't inflict any dots on her, so it's a long fight. It took like 5 minutes, I think, or something. or 6, but parry heavy, that's it. And Kushala Regents, a ton of block damage, so it's all good. And yeah, just parry heavy, level 3, parry heavy, level 3, that's it. You're good. Don't do anything else. Parry heavy, level 3. Remember that. And yeah, it was a solo. So all in all, on the path itself, used 1 revive here, 1 here, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5. And I used about 4 to 5 revives on Ares. The important thing about Ares, I'm going to show you this graphic, but the kind of key and clue in a sense. Here you go. You can take a screenshot of this if you will. I will move aside. And the bottom part there is very important. By the way, huge shout out Cat Murdoch, awesome graphic. But here is the special 1 and special 2 commands. So on level 1, which is phase 1 only, that you know for a fact he's going to be throwing level 1, it is Dex, Parry, Parry, Light, and Dex. If you have fought Ares before, muscle memory does kick in and help you out quite a bit. But it's also important that his eyes flash red only once, and you can notice that his first weapon is an axe that is kind of in an orange color. Any of your clues and hints you can use to recognize which special it is, use them. You can also pause and then kind of like see. I had written down the special attack patterns on a notepad as well. The level 1 is Dex, Parry, Parry, Light, and Dex. And his eyes will flash red only once, and his weapon is going to be in an orange color. It's going to be an axe. That's how you know what to do. You can also, in your head, memorize that axe is always Dex, sword is always Parry, spear is Light, and minigun is swipe up or down. And yeah, level 2 is Parry, Parry, Light, Dex, Dex, and swipe. And that's it. Once you kind of get used to that, Ares becomes quite a bit easier. Like somewhere after the first 2 revives, I kind of got a hold of it, and then, you know, he went down quite smooth. Heimdall is an absolute powerhouse for him because he ramps up at the quest, and he does so much damage so fast. Heimdall is so good for this. But there you go. Again, just remember the attack patterns here, and you should be good. So I used like 4 or 5 revives on that. So overall, I used 10 revives max for this run. I loved it, enjoyed it. Link to this will be in the description, and hope it's useful to you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next one. Hello there, guys, and welcome.